And I think that one of the things you have to do, or at least I felt like we needed to do to gain the trust and confidence of our fans, is to show them, is to let them see what it's going to look like, is it'll be a bit different when they get here. The gates are certainly extended, and you can see that by being here. But one change right away is the lots will open 3 hours before the game, not 5 hours. So it'll certainly be a shorter window for them to come here. No tailgating. I think we've been clear on that. There won't be any grills, tents, generators, any of that type of activity that's going on. Should there be anything that appears to be tailgating, we'll certainly intervene and disperse the crowd and break that up as we see it happening. When they come to the gate, or I should back up and say in the parking lot, one thing you'll see in the purple parking lot this year is we had a change. It will be speed parking. So when they come in, there'll be speed park, but there'll be a space in between every car. So if they do get here and sit behind their car or stand outside or what have you, there will be proper space in between the cars as they're speed parked throughout the purple lot. Once they get up to the gate, as you can see, we got a bag and a clear bag line. The clear bag, I think we've been as clear as we can, that you can't just stick your wallet or billfold or purse inside of the clear bag when you get here. It's truly got to be, the content's got to be visible inside the clear bag. But you can go to the clear bag, or you can go to the no bag and go right through. At that point, you'll have your temperature taken. If you're over 100.4, we can step aside, put you in a, as you can see, the cool down area, which is tinted right behind you. They can go in there for 10 minutes. We can retake it again. If their temperature is still too high, they won't enter. If it clears at that point, they can enter. They move forward to the ticket list now. We got mobile ticketing, so it'll be more efficient. Again, don't have to touch, and they can do the mobile ticketing and then move in to the into the stadium. They have to have a mask on. Masks are going to be required throughout the stadium. Right when they get up to the stadium, they're coming in these lines, masks are required. And as they move in, they'll go on up to the concourse and start to enter the bowl at that time. 90 minutes before kick will be open instead of 60 minutes. So they have additional time to get in. We hope that people will utilize that time, because as I've said before, the entry gates is one area we want to make sure we don't get a log jam. Even though we'll have spacing on the ground and try to work to get people spaced out, we want to spread them out. The other thing to note, there'll be more entry gates this year than there were last year. And if you notice the construction at gate 2 on the front of the stadium, the ticket office that was formerly there is gone. Cardinal Authentic, the retail store, is gone. So there's, now you got effectively 32 entry points on the other side of the stadium where people can come through and get through those 16 additional spots that back them up. You can take a look at that at the end of the tour. We got the asphalts down. You're starting to see the columns go up. It won't be completely finished obviously by Saturday, but my hope is we'll have it completely finished by next week, but we'll see as they make progress next week. That was a project that was a plan pre-COVID, just so you know. We intended to figure out how to create more entry space in the stadium. It was built pre-9/11. No new gates have been added. What I was trying to do was disperse the crowd around more gates, so that's why I wanted to take that down and create more of a true frontage to the stadium, a main entrance, and create more access to the stadium. One thing that we could talk about when we get up here as well is, you'll notice we still have the concourse with the mulch and the zigzags going down. At a future date, you won't have that. We're going to extend the concourse. There won't be the mulch, particularly on rainy days, all over the concourse. The idea is extend the space and create more spacing in the concourse when fans go down on hot days or to go to the restroom, go to concessions, whatever it might be during a quarter or halftime. So with that, I think we can stop and go up. You want mobile ticketing I mentioned. Yeah, after the temperature check, we'll have mobile ticketing here.
We're good, yeah. We break here, and
Again, once they get in the stadium, masks are going to be enforced, as well as physical distancing. So if we see gatherings, even in the concourse, we'll disperse that crowd as well. The one thing you'll notice is the markings will be throughout the stadium on all the columns, walls, on the ground, by the restrooms. Mask required, hand sanitizers. One entrance, one exit from the restrooms now. So that part of it's going to change. The elevators, limit of 4 in the elevator, which there'll be distance in the elevator as well. When you go to the concession stand, It's going to be cashless. Only able to use credit cards to pay for your concessions, so there won't be any exchange of cash at that point. All the concession stands you'll see, we got plexiglass set up as well, so that when you're cashing out, they'll be on the other side of a plexiglass for you. Restrooms, as I said, one entrance, one exit. We'll also have someone in there to monitor to make sure there's no more than 15. They'll be using every other restroom, urinal, or stall to make sure there's no crowding. We'll monitor that inside as well. So no matter where they're going in the stadium, we'll be monitoring that. The one thing, even going back that I should have noted back at the gates, is that we're going to have over 220 people that'll be working at the gates because of the extra level for just the 12,000 fans. So we're trying to think about it as well to not totally back off the staff so that we can efficiently get people in the stadium. That's certainly not an encouragement to wait till the last second. We still want fans to show up early and get into the stadium as early as they feasibly can. So I think on that front, we can now move into the stadium bowl if we want to take some pictures. Messaging on the big video boards as well. Wear your mask, wash your hands, social distancing, constant reminders throughout the game. So I think you'll see that not only from our enforcement with the ushers, but you'll see it on the signage throughout, much like you're seeing it right now. It'll certainly rotate. The one thing you also notice that COVID provided us is a delay stoppage in the seats going red. So some of them you're in right now are actually some of those that are I'll call them dark pink. But they're certainly not as red. As you can see, we've completed going rapid around. You can see what it looks like, and then we got stopped. So we're back on now, but we certainly lost some ground with our contractor when COVID came and they were shut down to be able to come in and finish the project for opening game as planned. So it will get done during the season now that they're back working. The areas that will be closed down, as we mentioned, will be the UPS flight deck. Will be nobody in there. It will not be staff. It'll be shut down. So there won't be fans in that based upon our 20% seating capacity, and we're able to social distance down in the lower bowl for 12,000 people. The Norton Healthcare Terrace will be closed for game watch, but we'll have our concessions will be set up. You will see a number of the vendors will be set up on the Norton Terrace where you can go get concessions, food and drink. Again, social distancing or physical distancing signage on the ground. You'll have the restrooms up there as well. The Adidas Club, which sits down below, for some of our Adidas Club members down here, will also be closed. We'll have that shut down. It's a tighter space that we use before the games to get obviously our players excited when they come through the tunnel, but that will be closed down. You'll notice when they come out, when the team comes out, you'll notice plexiglass is now set up. So if you look at the field suites, when they come out on the ends, we set up plexiglass walls so they'll come clear of the fans on both sides who normally are up on them or patting them on the shoulder pads. That won't be happening this year. We'll have that cleared out. One thing you're going to notice, going to be really obvious, and you know this as much as anybody, is how few people are going to be on the sidelines. There's not going to be a lot of the support staff, media. As you know, there's only one media pool photographer that'll be on there. They'll have a couple social media per team. Very limited. Long discussions around who could be on the field or not. We also are physical distancing on the sidelines. The box now goes down to the 15-yard line on both ends instead of the 25. So you got another 20 yards on each side of the field for the teams to spread out. So you'll see that. But I think just the pure fact that there'll be less people down there, very noticeable that there will be less people. There's only 3 in our athletic department who are given a field pass, and that's President Ben DePuti, myself, and Josh Hurd, our Deputy AD, who's the sport administrator for football, and we're only allowed to be on the field for business issues only, no loitering. So you won't see us down there as well. It's going to be pretty empty. The team's going to have to create a lot of their excitement on their own. No cheerleaders, no band. It's going to be a pretty empty environment to that degree. Once you get to the stands, the section behind you has a view of how seating will be done in these sections as far as physical distancing goes. So there'll be rows. There's certainly going to be seats set apart. The technology that we use with Ticketmaster dictates the social distancing. So it's not a manual process where we're trying to place people. It's when they choose their tickets and it's allocated, it starts building the social distancing in the seats. So that's representative. All our fine staff behind you that's paired up back there gives you an idea of what it's going to look like and how those seats are going to be set up throughout the stadium. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah. Any final questions for Vince here?
You keep mentioning how empty this is going to be. What challenges do you face as an athletic department? I know the safety and health come first, but to put out a product for the fans and for TV too.
Yeah, I mean, it almost feels like if the sun's going to be out, but it feels like a rain crowd in terms of the size. We would get down to 20, low 20,000s on some of those really inclement weather days, frankly, because we're loyal fans, but we're going to be less. I think it helps having the artificial noise, but I think our fans are going to be, those that are going to be here, excited to be here. They're going to want to be here. You're not coming just to get out of the house. Do you really want to be here? I think their voice is going to be incredibly loud from start to finish. They're appreciative. The feedback we get is they're appreciative that they have the opportunity for football. I know we are, and happy that all of our program has been able to maintain their disciplines and the protocols that we have to be able to get us to Saturday. And we're excited for 8 o'clock as much as the fans are.
Any other final questions? Yeah, go ahead, Tom.
Hey, Vince, unrelated, but what was your reaction to the ACC coaches saying everybody should be in the basketball tournament?
Well, I think it's a good move. I'm actually a proponent of that. I think that this is an unusual year. We should get really creative. And I'm just, I'm not an old school thinker. I'm more of a, let's do something unique. And I think this is a year where you could do it. I think there's ways to get it done. Depending on how much you bulk up in the sites for safety, I don't want to say a bubble, but if you're able to do that, whether it be 1 or 2 people come out of that region, but I think if you regionalize it, and we have Eastern and Western and IUPUI and Butler and Louisville and Kentucky and all of them in one region, and if 2 teams come out or 1, however they want to, but I just think this is an unusual year where you should get creative to create a great environment, and why not? The storylines would be amazing. We'd probably be talking less about some of the bigger schools and more about the other schools who have never been, or coaches that have been there 30 years and things like that. So, we'll see where it goes, but I think it's pretty interesting to think about all teams being in a postseason environment. And Coach Mack and I've talked about it.
Great. Thank you everyone again for being here.